Hello, everyone. This presentation is going to talk about the cancel culture and its oppression on youth, and it's presented by Kayleen and Amber. So this is a table of contents. We'll begin by talking about introduction on what is cancel culture and its backgrounds, and we'll also talk about its root causes, where it's historically rooted from, and how it developed over generations. And we'll also talk about technology and the digital media's influence. And we'll also talk about psychological and social impacts on youth. And lastly, we'll talk about how to mitigate these consequences. So what exactly is cancel culture? Cancel culture is when people use social media to publicly exclude someone for expressing unpopular opinions. While it might seem like an online backlash, it's actually a type of social and emotional peer violence. We are seeing this become more common in school and youth culture, and it creates fear around speaking openly. And this fear becomes a barrier for young people to encourage confidently with the society while growing up. And social media platforms like TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram fuel cancel culture by amplifying outrage. The anonymous aspect of digital media makes it easier for people to attack others without feeling accountable as well. Um, Additionally, because everything online is archived and searchable, one mistake can permanently damage someone's reputation. You guys can have probably noticed that people can indeed delete posts and tweets they make on social media, but then people take screenshots and the evidence is really hard to get rid of, and they spread fast through digital media. That's why digital media is a very has a very permanent and damaging consequences. So our purpose of this presentation is to inform more about cancel culture, but also to spread awareness on its impact on youth, and how cancel culture affects mental health, relationships, and identity development among adolescents. We want to explore how digital media also contributes to cancel culture and also propose healthier alternatives to public shaming. Instead of just simply tearing each other down, we want to focus on providing mental health resources and encouraging open conversations. Now we will talk about the evolution of cancel culture. Cancel culture isn't something that has been recently developed. Instead, it is historically rooted in boycott traditions like dating back way to like 18th century. And this was through like political, societal, economic discourse. People used like boycotting to like show disapproval and refusal to these like ideas. And then what makes it so unique today is how it spread through digital platforms. First, it gained traction on Black Twitter between 2014 and 2016, and it grew into mainstream phenomenon on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. While boycotts were once about refusing like harmful products and practices, cancel culture today often targets individuals, which can lead to like ostracism and impact people's belonging and self-esteem. So it can really harm people's psychology. So now let's actually dive deeper into psychology and how that exacerbates cancel culture. Groupthink, for example, causes people to make quick judgments and side with the majority without critically evaluating the situation. This makes misinformation spread way faster as well. And many people don't fact check in social media as well. Another factor is psychological validation. When group feel harmed, canceling someone can actually feel very empowering. And that exact validation is really often enough to escalate cancel culture, and make it even harder to prevent it or stop. Now let's talk about adolescents and their identity development and how it's related to cancel culture. So adolescence is essentially a critical stage in identity development. During this time, teenagers focus more on peer relationship and social exploration, and this is because they are still developing their own identity and trying to figure out who they truly are, which makes them really vulnerable to cancel culture. The fear of being canceled can also stop teenagers from expressing themselves authentically and who they truly are. And over time, this can negatively affect identity development on, for example, like building identity based on what their peers believe and think rather than developing your own values and morals. And this can also impact their self-esteem by making them like really low and also have like long-term mental health consequences.
Hello, I'm Amber, and I'm going to be going into the technological advances. To begin, technological advances have greatly increased the speed and reach of cancel culture. A single post has the potential to go viral within minutes, often drawing in individuals who may not be aware of the full context. For the person being targeted, this sudden and widespread attention can create an overwhelming sense of pressure and isolation. Another important factor is anonymity. The ability to hide behind a screen often makes people more willing to use harsh or hurtful language towards others. This lack of accountability can intensify the attacks, leaving the person on the receiving end feeling powerless. Additionally, digital receipts make it so that nothing online is ever truly erased. Screenshots, archives, and even deleted posts can resurface at almost any time. For young people, this can prevent personal growth as past mistakes are repeatedly brought back into the public eye. Instead of being given the opportunity to move people forward, they are often forced to relive one of their most difficult moments. Altogether, these elements, speed, anonymity, and permanence, make cancel culture especially damaging to youth. Its effects go beyond online interactions, which can create long-term mental health struggles and discouraging open expression. Now we'll be going into mitigation. One important strategy is media literacy education. This means teaching students to think critically about what they see and share online. For example, thinking before posting or commenting can prevent the spread of false information. Practicing empathy is another key step. To remember that there are real people behind the screen and that online bullying can have very real mental health consequences. And also recognizing context is crucial. Content online may be edited, incomplete, or taken out of context. So pausing to evaluate before posting anything is very essential. Another area of mitigation involves support systems. Counseling access plays a large role in here. Many schools already have counselors who can assist students experiencing online targeting, and online therapy or helplines, such as digital security services, are becoming more available. Affordable and even free mental health care options are also important, especially for students who might not otherwise have access. Peer support programs can also make a meaningful difference. Training students to recognize warning signs of cyberbullying or canceling allows for earlier intervention. Just as importantly, encouraging peers to step in as bystanders rather than staying silent helps create a culture of support rather than excluding others. In conclusion, cancel culture thrives on quick judgments, incomplete stories, and the permanent nature of the internet, which are shown to leave individuals so fearful of being canceled that they shut themselves out from sharing ideas or participating online. And by strengthening media literacy, encouraging mental health support systems, and promoting accountability approaches instead of punishment, we can help people respond in ways that reduce harm while still holding others accountable when needed. And these strategies can allow individuals to learn from their mistakes without fear and help them engage more in the digital world. These were the resources that were used. And thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions or want to contact, you can do so at the email right here.